what are we willing to do? How far are we willing to go to recruit a retailer to come here in group? It's pretty clear that even though we have a large number of commercial vacancies now, most notably in a shopping mall that's over 40 years old and not in great shape, these retailers that want to come here are not going to go into a mall. Their model is different. So what are we prepared to do today?
I think we have to be careful with giving the farm away, but I think we got to be looking at everything. I mean, not just retail.
At the heart of our community is that we are an education center, we are a healthcare center, and we are also a retail center. And if we lose one of the legs in that stool, this three-legged stool, we're going to fall over. So it's very important that, yes, we do more to create new jobs in primary industries that have higher wages and require skilled workers. But it's clear that people are not coming to Hayes because they'd rather just drive through to Salina where there is a little bit more selection. I think we could stem that tide if we talk about what kind of incentive packages we want to put together. For example, the fact that we are willing and very happy to do something with the former Union Pacific Depot land that we have, I think is a great step forward.
I think we need to be open to what their expectations are. Right. I think laying anything out in a broad brush format isn't going to, I don't believe it probably will be the way it's going to work. Everyone's going to have a different idea of what they want.
Right. So it is a bit of a puzzle we have to put together. I'm just simply asking, what can we do to help put those pieces of the puzzle together? You know, there's a national trade show that takes place of retailers. Do we want to send someone? Do we want to participate in that? How deeply involved, beyond incentives, which we know we have and we're anxious to give, we can't control land prices. So what other variables can we control?
I don't think we can wait. If we want to do this, then we got to go after these companies and we need to recruit them. Our Ellis County Economic Development, I think that the developers in town coming, that they have people in mind that they want to talk to, but I don't know how much the coalition goes out and recruits businesses. So maybe we ought to open a position up in the city to do economic development and go recruit businesses.
It's not that these discussions aren't important, but I think that the larger question that we as a community should be asking is, how do we grow our community by 5,000 people to reach 25,000 people? Because we're a regional hub, but we're a regional hub that retailers only look at as 20,000 people. And a lot of these ills would be, I think, solved on their own if we were a community of 25,000 people. Because the fact is that we're a community with a high cost of living relative for what we are, with a population that's not quite large enough, and an unemployment rate that hovers at or below 3%. And you know, you can look at those things in a positive light, but I think from a retail standpoint, those actually are not positive.
Right.
Yep, it is.
Well, I don't think you can have this conversation without talking about affordable housing for families. People don't want to bring their families here and live in houses that have been retrofitted for college kids, and that's what our housing is. We don't have apartments for families. We don't have affordable housing. And my definition of affordable housing is if you have two people working a job, they should be able to afford to buy a nice house here, decent house, and you just can't do that in Hayes. $150,000, I think, is what the coalition says affordable housing is here. I make pretty decent money, and I would have a hard time buying a $150,000 house. So I think that if there is things we can do to look at affordable housing, apartment complexes that would open up single family homes that have been retrofitted or something like that. The policy, the tax rate, I can't think of the name of it, but
Neighborhood revitalization.
Neighborhood revitalization, hopefully that helps and people start fixing up them houses for single family homes and not, you know, 4-bedroom apartments.
It behooves us to make sure that people understand we're anxious for development, we're anxious for retail. And whatever that takes, if that's going to conventions, if that's running an ad in every single periodical that's out there, if it means laying a deal out there on one particular piece, whatever it is, something that's going to say people are going to look at it and say, oh my God, I think they're real. They want retail.
So, as far as a substantive discussion, personally, I think one of the best things that we could do in the short term is look at the North Line corridor and improve the access. And I know that there's been a discussion of that at the Planning Commission level, that there is a potential plan in place, but I think that if we as a commission, something that we can actually do
Yay.
that was within our realm is to open up access to businesses that are already on North Line. And by doing that, it will open up access to property that hasn't been developed both on the north and the south side of the interstate.